welcome back to the podcast. My name is Elizabeth from Elizabeth Magical Garden, a magical garden reaching for the stars. Guys, welcome back to the podcast. I pray that everybody is well. I pray that everybody is in great spirits. I actually have a little thing that I'm trying to do at the same time. Your girl is still learning. We are still growing on this platform. So I'm actually recording this podcast as I go live on this channel as well. So to whoever I should say to whoever is listening on the podcast, be sure to head on over to the channel at Elizabeth Magical Garden Podcast. All information will be down below, as well as check out my vlog channel. It goes live every single Wednesday. Actually, every week I've been consistently going live as well and uploading. So be sure to head on over to the comments. I always say the comments. Head on over to the the show notes so you can be part of this live. Yes, guys. Okay, so let's just get right into the topic of the day. Be sure to have a beverage of choice because this is going to be somewhat of a long one. And also leave a comment down below and let me know what are you drinking, because right now I'm currently drinking without trying to spill it on myself. Guys, I'm drinking some peppermint tea. Actually, this is mint tea. I love to have like real, of course. I like to have whole a mint in my mint cup, because that's all I really drink in this cup is tea, maybe green tea as well. So that's what we're doing today. So guys, invasion of the body snatchers. Let's just get into it. What I've discovered over the course of time is whenever something extremely powerful or really big in any type of way, you go through a whole shift. You go through a metamorphosis. And one of the consistent reasons I believe that this happens, and this is a constant reoccurrence in our lives, is because we go through different channels, right? When you start to grow in any area, this is why people say, be careful of whom you hang around with, be careful of the type of information you retain, type of food you ingest, etc. Because whatever you are constantly around, whatever you are constantly doing, will show up. Will show up in your life. It will legit change you. And I remember being young, and thank God, right? I must say, I was in some colorful circles. Some colorful circles. Okay, let's speak it out loud. And just to give a little backstory of myself, I'm a native New Yorker, although my family are, well, they're citizens now, but they weren't raised or born in here. They were born from Haiti. They were born in Haiti, and I'm the first born for my culture, for my family's culture, which I'm sure a lot of us are, or not, but I find like a lot of people definitely come from a line of something. I mean, no one is just one thing, right? In saying that, building over the course of time, what I have learned when I started venturing out on my own is that things definitely will teach you, will also change you, change your prospect on certain things. And I have always tried my best to really be, how can I say, responsible in that area, in the best position, in the best way I could. And I just want to say, when I say the best, meaning like whatever situation I found myself in, making sure to just make sound decisions that will get me either to a higher point or out of the situation. And I want to specifically make this video for not only people that are my age, okay, younger, especially like you guys that are in your 30s. And here's the thing, the reason why I wanted to discuss this topic, which is invasion of the body snatchers, and also keeping keeping the vision alive, keeping your eyes on your vision, keeping focus on your vision. Because just because we have a dream, that doesn't mean that you are going to put yourself or see yourself in a position that you feel fit for yourself right away. It takes time. And the time is all about preparing. It's all about preparing, guys. It's all about preparing for the very thing that you are working towards. It doesn't happen overnight. You become the thing. That is the thing. You literally become the very essence of whatever you are working so hard to achieve. And if you look at wherever you are in your life right now and your goals, be honest with yourself. From the point of wherever you are now in your life to your goal, your end goal, whatever that is, because I always feel like after we achieve one goal, it's time for another, right? So wherever you fall in that spectrum, realize honestly, first of all, right, what is needed, what is required of you, what is required of you to achieve a particular goal. And when I say goals, it could be anything. It could be maybe becoming a painter, a great photographer, a writer. Maybe you're going into business for yourself, becoming a better business person. Whatever that goal is, writing down. Let's see, got me hot, honey. Ooh, Lord. I'm looking for something to fan me because, ooh, it's heat. Ooh, yes, honey. When you're a woman of a certain age, you gotta keep cool. Anyway, just making sure to, how can I say, watch the consistency of whatever the thing you want to attain. So if you want to obtain a specific goal, become a person that I don't know, let's even shrink it down. Maybe you want to lose some weight. I would suggest the first thing that anybody would do. And when I say lose weight, it could be just like 5 pounds, 2 pounds, or maybe you want to put on weight, right? Because I remember back in the day when I was a young girl, that was my goal, to put on weight. I found that I didn't understand I was this like naturally sort of a slim person, and I wanted to be thicker because that was, what was presented. And this is like when I was like just getting into puberty. So I remember finding a solution. I remember finding these lashes, guys. I don't know. Y'all gotta like stop by and watch this live video so you can see the shenanigans happening over here, because like the tears, the sweat, but we are pressing through. So anyway, I found a solution. It was this thing called, a solution at the time when I thought I needed a solution, right? Because we should love our bodies regardless of how we show up. Yes, we should always work, in my humble opinion, of making it a point to enrich our lives receiving the good fruits that come from that, allowing ourselves to better ourselves, um, in any way we choose, right? But in the same reality, loving what we are or who we are from within, because that is the true beauty. When you that is actually what allows you to shine, in my humble opinion, right? So I wrote this thing, it was called Wait On. Guys, I don't even know who it was made by, but if you are if you are about maybe like in your 50s or even late 40s, you may or may not know what I'm talking about, but I think you know. It was this drink, and it was called Wait On. And what you did was I think you mixed it in like water or something like that, and it was supposed to allow you to put on weight. Well, guys, let me tell you, it did work. It did work, and it did allow you to put on weight. And the reason why it allowed you to put on weight is because you slept. Child, never slept so much in my life. It made you sleep. So you didn't put on weight. You did put weight on because you were sleeping. It was like, it was gnarly. You just slept all day. And all you did was eat and sleep. It kind of like gave you like a pregnant, oh my God, like kind of like a pregnancy effect, because when you are pregnant, that's all you want to do. You want to rest, you want to sleep, you want to eat. So I think I put on a little bit, but that sleeping all the time, needless to say, that was not me. So I stopped, and of course I lost all the weight. Where am I going with this? Because when you want, or you are, yeah, when you want, or when you are working towards a particular goal, you should 99.9% study what is required from you to obtain that goal. What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does it sleep like? Just like, what is that? What is attached to that amount of success in whatever area you find in your life? Excuse me. I remember when I wanted to play the guitar, right? And guys, I'm coming from a place of um, of real, how can I say, experience. Because I am a true believer of a vivid imagination. You can truly create whatever you desire. Honestly, success is just becoming the thing. Pretty much. I could have said that from the beginning. Success is pretty much becoming the thing. And this is why I implemented invasion of the body snatchers, because it's literally snatching another body and putting it on and becoming a thing. I mean, maybe nobody have really said it in the way I'm saying it, but we all have our own point of view, right? So not to be so sci-fi, but it just lets you know, yes, it's basically very simple, because I want y'all to remember, whenever you want something different in your life, it's not so much about studying, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do this thing. When am I going to get the money for this thing? I'm not, I'm not, I don't have the right tools for the thing. Start exactly where you are. You always hear um, people say that, start where you are, because starting where you are allows you, little by little, to obtain a certain amount of experience, you know? It really does. My allergies, guys, like, and these lashes ain't helping, but we gonna put these lashes on, or we got them on. But my allergies has been bothering me since like a week think, yeah, like off and on, and especially it's like hot. I'm in the AC, so if you hear any noise, trust that's what's going on in the background. So when you allow yourself to be free and just realize, let yourself realize who you truly, I should say, not, well, who you truly are, but what you truly want. I find a lot of people say they want X, Y, and Z, but from what I understand, when you really want something, you actually work at it. Dreaming about it, wishing on a star, okay, but no, not having action behind that is just kind of like, I don't believe in empty thoughts, because every every single thing matters in this world. Like every in this reality. Seriously, like every single thing. I was at the park the other day, and I actually went live, so be sure to check that out. I believe it was the last live that I was, um, before I came back on this podcast, and also check the show notes down below for those who are watching the podcast, because all the information that I've discussed from one point or the next in terms of, just seeing things from a different perspective is definitely down in the show notes, as well as my vlog channel, which I go live on that channel every week, sometime more, but definitely every week. So be sure to check that out, and also subscribe to that channel. I truly appreciate that, and subscribe to this channel as well. So when you just allow yourself, right? Okay, so what is another example I want to give you real quick? Saying no. Saying no to what no longer serves you, okay, that's one aspect. Saying no to allowing yourself, or I should say no to giving away free energy just because, um, that's a no. And it's I'm not asking you to be mean. I'm not asking you to be, I mean, it might come across me. You can't really focus on whether you're being mean or not, because if you do, you're never going to do anything. There's only about so much hours in a day. With that being said, life is happening. Like real life is happening. Like things that you cannot even, you just is out of your hands, right? You have that already. So that's already snatched off the list in terms of your energy wise. Then you have your own personal responsibilities, and then you have that pure space, that has not been tampered with yet, that pure space that has not been noticed to not only others but also yourself. And that space I'm talking about is time. Your time. Your time is precious. If I allowed everything and everyone to have access to me all the time, I would not get anything done. And one of the main reasons why I believe I wouldn't get anything done, not because of those people or those circumstances, because of me, because of my mind, because of my makeup. I know I know my stamina. I know how much I can, um, physically retain. I know that about myself. So if I know that about myself, why would I? And I want, and I'm working. I'm working towards different things. Why would I allow other things and other people to zap that away from me? A lot of times people are in the same situation in their lives because they are not bold enough to take back their time. You don't, listen, I want to say, okay, I'm not going to say that. I want to say that. I want to say that, but I don't want to make y'all feel bad. But I'm saying that for me. Because, okay, let me just speak for myself. I remember when I was working a physical job. So I'm gonna say for how I felt back then when I was bad enough. I'm over here. What I'm not gonna do is allow what's over there to take all of this away. What's over here? When I'm, as you get older, and this is why I specifically said in your 30s, because that is the time where time starts to be really prevalent in your life. That's the time where you're gonna notice like your bounce back is not as it was when you was 21, especially when you hit 35, right? And honestly, even taking, let's just put age to the side for a minute. Anytime you don't have any type of order in your life, you will feel drained way before your time. You will always feel lethargic. This is why they say, do what you love, because you never work a day in your life. Honestly, I feel so grateful and so honored to be able to do what I love. Um, but I created that, and I'm still creating. Being able to, the whole 9 yards, being able to prepare to come in front of you guys, being able to study and also grow within myself, because what you're reading, you're learning. I'm still learning, so just I love to learn anyway. So just coming across information that is allowing me to become my, how can I say, my better version, a better version of myself. I'm really grateful for that. I'm really grateful for that. And I know for a fact that I wouldn't be experiencing that if I didn't make time for myself, make clear time. How am I supposed to know what I love, what I love to do, if I don't take time to be with myself? Because I'm giving everybody else time. I'm giving everything time. And it's not just a physical person. It could just be just doing other things that that's not benefiting you, like maybe watching too much TV. That's the thing. You know what? I love moments of watching a lot of TV. Now, I had episodes in my life where, yeah, that's all I had the energy to do, and I'm not faulting, and I'm not taking it away. I'm not taking your leisure time away if that's how you spend your time. But when you really think about it, like, while you sitting there watching somebody else, you could be doing something and pouring back into you. And if you are watching something or watching somebody else, learn from them, grow from them. Allow yourself to receive the information. You're watching. Never try not to ever allow your energy to be wasted. Always make sure to benefit um, from whatever situation you find yourself in. Point example, if you are taking a train, if you're traveling, or if you're traveling on a train, you could carry a little book with you, maybe a little note and pen. Use that time to focus on what you want in your life. Focus on just being in a position where you can do not only nice things for yourself but others, right? Because think about it. Why do we truly work so hard to to achieve any type of goal? Is to not only take care of ourselves but make sure our families are good too. So writing things down, I always tell you guys to do that. And another reason why it's good to write things down, you actually are imprinting in your mind, and also your subconscious mind. You're recording, because your brain has to focus in order for you to write these things down, for you to jot them down. So what starts to happen, they kind of like are little short little memos within your brain. And before you know it, because you're being so consistent writing the same things down, you'll start to become the thing. You'll start to look like the thing that at one point seemed to be so far from you, but that actually sound foreign when you even dared to uh, speak it out loud, right? Another reason why it's really good to use the methods that I am speaking about is because you give yourself a fighting chance. I remember always, and even now I feel like I kind of like slacked off a little bit. Matter of fact, I gotta start writing stuff down a little bit. I still do. I still do. I don't want to say like I'm suggesting it and I don't do it myself. I actually still do. I have. Let me show you guys. Okay. I have, and I don't even make it like. It doesn't have to. I used to like when I first started journaling. I would like make it a whole thing, put stickers in the front of the book, and all type of stuff. And I might even start doing that again because actually that was like really fun. I would light candles, right, or a candle, do some aromatherapy, maybe like have some incense burning, some nice music, and just like have a nice cup of tea, just like create the whole vibe. And I would just allow myself to write. Now, this is just a regular journaling book, okay? I have written, written so many books that that is one of the things that I definitely have to do because just on a journaling tip, when I look back, oh my God, it's uncanny. It's like I've been always creating my own vision board through writing. So I'm telling you guys, make time for you no matter where you are in life. Another thing is going to the gym. Now, for me, it could look like a lot of things. Sometimes I use the gym just to, I feel like we all do it to clear my head. And sometimes that looks like me listening to something motivational. Sometimes it looks like it may look like I'm just like, for me, it looks like, I should say, um, me listening to hardcore rap or or rock or Nars music, like whatever is going to get me. I love all types of music, so whatever is going to get me in whatever particular zone that I'm looking to be in, that's what I do. Again, creating, and getting into whatever. You know what? It's like creating a character. That's basically what it is. Isn't that what actress and actors do all the time? Don't they create characters? That's basically what they do. They're a character within themselves to that does and has done such a great job at becoming the character that when we see them on their own time, guess what? They're still the character, right? They're still in your mind the character. And it's almost like a lot of times I feel like that's what makes it so intrusive because we expect them to jump into character every time we see them. That is crazy. You know who's a good sport with that, in my humble opinion, because that's a lot. Johnny Depp. I feel like he's such a good sport with allowing himself to indulge us of him being, Jack Sparrow from from the Pirates of the Caribbean. Leave a comment down below if you are a Johnny Depp fan. I know for myself, I have always, since, okay, I know I'm going to be dating myself, but I'm okay with that. Since 21 Jump Street. If you know, you know. So that's how long me and Johnny been going back. Guys, it doesn't have to be, life doesn't have to be um so serious all the time, because it really isn't. Now, before before you before you get all excited, there are serious moments that are constantly happening in the world. Definitely, there are serious moments that are constantly taking our attention. There are serious moments that are heartbreaking. That is something that can never be disputed. In saying that, this is why what I'm suggesting is imperative for you to practice, because this is the only way, or it's not the only way. In my humble opinion, it's the easiest way to get to the goal, to get to the mark. When they pass the baton in track and they're running, and like it gets to a point where the person that is running, they put their hand to the back and then they get the baton. They don't even look back, really. They just know it's there. This is where the crossroads is happening. Again, this is why I kind of mentioned the 30s. I'm not saying if you are younger or older, this video is not for you. Of course it is. But there is a point in time in the human development where consciously, because of what was taught or what has been taught and what is still taught, that biologically you start to feel a sense of worry and just being confused in general, because you are assuming that this next phase should look like X, Y, and Z, and that is so far from the truth. Now, there are some truths in the human development, right? There's a consistent um, point in time, point in motion, when there is certain things occurs in the human body, right? Puberty, you know, when a girl first, receives, her. I am so dating myself. I can't even say, her menstruals, okay? And, young men, when they are able to get a girl pregnant, hopefully not girls, a girl pregnant, a lady pregnant. And just like when you have a baby, there is a point in time when your child will be totally dependent on you. And over the course of time, because of all the things that the child has learned over the course of the years, sooner or later they'll get to a particular phase where they're more able to take care of themselves, nevertheless one day be totally independent. Well, you know what? Sidebar. I don't feel like kids are ever totally dependent from their parents. Now, maybe in a situation where it's like the parents obviously is not taking care of the child like they used to, kids get a job, go to school, and so forth. But there's always going to be a bond between a mother and her child. Parents are forever. A mother is never going, I'm speaking as a mother because I'm a mother, I'm not a dad, I'm not a man, so I can only speak from my point of view, but just parents in general. You want the best for your kids, whether you are a mother or a father, I believe, right? So, guys, this let me tell you something right here. These allergies are real, and let me tell you something. I really sacrifice for you guys because I put on these lashes, although I'm loving them, but the allergies are not, letting me be great. But we're gonna push through. So, phases in life are just basically prime example of what your future is going to always be like. There's always phases. Phases are in everything, not just in your development, but also in the things that you acquire over the course of time. Certain behaviors. This is why being practicing mindfulness is extremely important. When you practice mindfulness, it's going to put in the forefront exactly what you truly don't need to be doing anymore. Whatever you do not need to do at that time or no longer should be doing is going to be prevalent, because when you practice mindfulness, you're going to see right in front of you. One of the things that I feel that will honestly keep you in the loop in terms of practicing mindfulness is meditation. This is something that I always go back and forth with myself, because I personally find it really hard at times to quiet my mind. So if you're anything like myself, one of the things that you can do to quiet your mind is practice breathing. A lot of times when a person is dealing with any type of anxiety, it's because your mind is playing many pictures within your head, and you are trying to, how can I say, or you're stuck in projecting your point of view on something that hasn't happened yet. And because it hasn't happened yet, and you are stuck in this picture that you are constantly creating for yourself, you will get anxiety. Your body will tense up. You will feel it. One of the ways that I find that gets me through meditation, most meditations I would say, because I definitely am a person that, I don't want to say struggle, but has dealt and does deal at times with anxiety. So one of the things that I find that always works for me is breathing, taking deep breaths, holding them in for a certain amount of time, and releasing them, letting it go out, long releasing breaths for a certain amount of time, and doing that maybe like about five times, 5 to 10 times to start, I would say. And going into the meditation knowing that your mind is not allowing you to quiet itself, frees you from going in kind of like blindly. So when you feel those feelings, I always say, keep, not keep, but kind of like keep the struggle in on your front, in your frontal lobe. Like, not focus on it, but focus on it enough where once your mind starts to, like, you can just breathe in, breathe out, breathe deeply, and allow yourself the freedom of just being. Allow yourself the freedom of just knowing that, listen, you know what, I'm here, I showed up for myself, I'm doing the best that I can, and I'm going to make the best out of this moment. Having that type of outlook will allow you to not only be successful in your meditation, you'll also be able to build a certain amount of confidence within yourself, because you are proving to yourself that you are worthy. It is really hard to transform into any new thing if you don't feel worthy of the thing. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times we think that we are ready for something, and we get into almost like a, I know for me, like it would be like a spinning cycle, right? Because you want the thing, but you're automatically putting, or feelings that are, feelings, I should say, for lack of better words, feelings are coming up of you instantly can't, like, how can I see myself having the thing? Practicing mindfulness, I'm telling you guys, will build you up from the inside out. You'll find yourself living a more, what's that word I'm looking for? You'll find yourself not only living a sustainable life for yourself, but a more purposeful life. You'll find yourself living a more purposeful life. That's basically what I wanted to say. Because you'll start to map out the things that are working, and you'll start to map out the things that aren't working for you. You know, we're not here to waste time. Not at this point, right? So practicing mindfulness, these are one of the things that will allow you to metaphor build, like, go into a metaphor. What is that word I'm using? Not metaphor. Not metaphor. What is the word, guys? It's not metaphor. We're still pending on that one. But anyway, transforming, we're going to just use that one, but that's not the word I wanted. That is not the word I wanted. But anyway, we got to move on for the sake of this show, because I will stick on that for a minute. It's really bothering me that I can't remember what I wanted to say with that. But anyway, guys, another thing, let's just talk about it. Relationships. Yeah. Relationships can go either way. We can love them or leave them alone, right? And one of the things that I want to let y'all know, and you probably already know this, as long as you deal with people, human beings, things will never be totally um, foolproof, because the only person that you can truly believe that, hopefully, that will never hurt you is yourself. Point blank, period. You're the only person that you can say that will not hurt you. And that is not, I'm not trying to be negative, a negative Susie, but understanding that and really processing that you're the only one that won't hurt you. You are it when it comes to trusting anything or anyone. You're it, because you're it. And this is not coming from a place of negativity necessarily. Like that's the first thing people would think, like, oh, you don't trust anybody. Well, you shouldn't either. Trust, have discernment, yes. Trust yourself, but have discernment for others. Allow your interaction with others to determine what you are receiving and how you are moving. A lot of times people like to ignore that. I never was good at that. And I never want to be good at that. Because if it don't feel right, it's because it's not right. And we were taught, a lot of people were taught, okay, because I had to break, well, I broke out of that years ago, okay? I'm talking about when I was a kid. I always felt things and I never understood why would I have to fake it just to keep a certain amount of peace. Now, as I got older, yes, I understand, but if it's not for like money, um, achieving some type of I just don't understand why we're faking. I just don't understand why we are going against that. Babies and animals will always tell the truth. You're probably hearing my Yorkie now. Babies and animals will always tell you the truth, because when somebody, I don't want to even say his name too loud. His name is Benji. I have a teacup Yorkie. His name is Benji, and let me tell you something. He's the love of my life. But anyway, he is not he is not for the games. Okay, if he does not, he's funny. I used to think at one point he just didn't like anybody because he's always with me. But then he would surprise me, and then he would start talking to somebody else. Not when I say talking, allowing his paws to touch and just, hopping around and loving on them, right? And I would be shocked because he's very consistent. So whenever he does, you know, I'm like, I'm in awe. Kids too. A lot of children, they will let you know if a person is of good karma or not. They feel things. But as we become adults, we are being taught to no longer feel the obvious things that, let's see right here. Yeah, just not allowing ourselves to focus on the things that we know that is not good for us just because majority rules. Majority says that you are supposed to um, follow the yellow brick road, so that's what you do, right? And what happens is over the course of time, this is why kids start to get into like problems. They have behavior problems. I know I did, and go like run away, do so many things. I didn't do the run away part, but I think everybody my age, back in the day, we all thought about it in the 80s, like, you know what, I'm running away. That was like a thing to do. But anyway, I digress. You can't ignore what's inside of you, because if you ignore what's inside of you, then you're not going to be able to become what is inside of you. You're not going to be able to reach your higher potential if you do not allow yourself to be free and just live a prosperous, healthy life. Be happy. Have fun within yourself. Allow yourself to create. Allow yourself to live. Allow yourself to be. It doesn't always have to be a big thing. I know that, especially on social media, we can feel like, oh, why is this X, Y, and Z? Why don't I have X, Y, and Z? You know, what I would say to anybody that suffers in that way, I would say, smoke and mirrors. Okay? Just because it's in a pretty presented in a pretty package, that doesn't mean that's exactly it. And that's all of our lives. I feel like everybody can agree to that, right? Of course, we want to always put our best foot forward, but at the same token, we must realize, or allow ourselves to realize, that in life, there are ebbs and flows. So focusing on what you truly want and desire, and studying and being honest of where you need to um, signing up on is a win-win, because when you can do that, you show that you are ready to do the work, because it is work. Nothing comes in a pretty bow. I mean, sometimes they do, but nothing consistently come in a pretty bow, and to where you don't have to put in any type of work. If you think that is what getting your goals, or is going to get you to your goals, then you have another thing coming. You're going to be basically disappointed. But if you allow yourself to understand that time is of no essence, because time doesn't matter. You are already the thing. You know, um, there is this gentleman. I forget his name. I heard it. I heard this is a parable that I heard. Um, Basically, somebody that is very wealthy, became very wealthy, was asked a question like, how does it feel to be a millionaire? And he said he was always a millionaire. Wow. Like, that is a beautiful thing. And that just goes into what I'm saying. Understanding that, okay, just because you are not at that particular destination doesn't mean that you are not at that destination. Just because you can, I always say this, if you could close your eyes and envision the thing, then you already have the thing. It's all about bridging the gaps. Okay? It's all about bridging the gaps. Once you allow yourself to work on the things that will get you from point A to point B, you already won. Think about it. You already made up your mind. You already know what you want to do. You already know what that desire is. It doesn't really matter about like what anybody thinks. Even if you are young, like really really young, and maybe like when I say really really young, really really young to me, maybe you in your 20s, 30s, heck, even 40s, you still have time. You could be a mother, you could be a father, you can have a slew of other operations going on, but there's that one thing that you never feel like you have time for. You have time because you have the ability to create. Let me tell you, I don't care if you have to go to the bathroom. You can hide, get away, go to the library. That's one of the places that I love to go to, but I find that the library can get a little crowded, because I think we're all thinking the same thing. At least it is a little bit for me right now. I mean, but you know what it is? School is out, so all the kids are going to the library, which is a good thing. This is a good thing. So a lot of field trips will be there, so it's not as quiet as I'm used to it being. But you know what has been um, a cool fave of mine to get work done? Excuse me. Going to the museum. The museum is a low key, high key hotspot. I honestly feel like, you know what? They actually have like functions, I believe, at the museum that I go to. I live in New York City, so I have so many museums that I can say that I can go to. I can go to the Met, I can go to the Brooklyn Museum. There's so many different museums that I am so grateful that I have access to. But I find that a lot of them, they have like, they have like little functions and everything. But if you just want to go and change your scenery, that's a lot what I do. Sometimes, staying home to edit can get a little, you could tend to feel a little closed in at times. I mean, most times I don't mind, but when I do want to get out and still get some work done, I usually love going to, if not the library, going to the museum, especially the museum, because you get lunch. It's like a little nook. The library too, there's like little cafes and stuff like that. I say this all to say that you can you can create time in your in your calendar, where you can take maybe a couple of hours a week, maybe like just 3 hours within a week, just to focus on what you want. Go get it. It's yours already. I just feel like when it comes to the imagination, as as time goes as times go as time goes by, we can feel like those dreams are fleeting, no longer prevalent in our lives. And this thought, I believe, brings a lot of depression, a lot of emptiness within oneself. And one of the reasons why I feel like these emotions occur is because you feel like you let yourself down. You feel like you left yourself down. You feel like you didn't allow time to be the determining factor. You didn't allow, or you didn't give yourself, or you didn't believe in yourself enough to give yourself time. We give everybody else time. We give our families time. We give our work, if you work, whatever you do for occupation, you give that time. Every single thing outside of you, you give time to. But then when it comes time to give time to yourselves, then it's like, oh, I don't have no time. I don't have time for this. I have other things to do. I need money now. Nobody got time for this. These are the things I usually hear a lot of times when I make certain suggestions to people at times. Maybe not as maybe not in the exact way like how I'm saying it, but that's how it sounds to me, because I'm like, this is for you. You know what I mean? I always, like, once I found YouTube, I was like, it was a one-stop shop for me, and I feel like a lot of people that is on this platform feels like that, because I remember working, oh my God, I want to say it was a time I was working, I was putting in 16-hour days, okay? And on my weekends, I would get ready and I would batch a lot. That's when I started batching. That's when I would sit there and batch like all the videos. At that time, I was putting, I think it was like twice a week or once a week. It was a while ago. I can't remember. I'm gonna say once a week. And I wasn't going live at that time, so I was editing all my videos only. And that's another reason why I love going live, because like once it's up, it's up. You know what I mean? And I personally love to focus on the message. I do love editing, and be sure to check out my vlog channel, because anytime I'm editing, usually it would be up on that channel as well. But I would batch my videos, and I would just work, you know? And I remember, like, I would usually start on Saturday, right? I would get up early in the morning and start Saturday. I would have everything laid out, all whatever was going to be included in the video. I would have that available for me, have it set up, and I would just be so excited. I would be so tired, but for some reason, I would have such a surge of energy, because I knew I truly loved what I was doing. I truly loved it. Even today, when I was getting ready, hair and makeup, and I remember saying to myself, like, I had it was crazy. I almost felt like teary-eyed, because I felt like I came kind of like full circle, right? Because life is about ebbs and flows. You change, you come, you re-evolve, you come back again, you grow. This is why I feel, and I feel them, and I'm working so hard not to be one. This is why I feel like a lot of people become more you know that this particular thing is going to come back, and 9 times out of 10 when it come back it's not going to be the same quality. I had just, purged my closet, and I kid you not, I got rid of so many things that honestly, I'm not gonna lie, was still valuable, but it was just too much. I had to let it go. And that is the price that I felt like I had to pay because I was holding on to too many things. It's never a good time to let go. It's never a good time. It never feels good when you have to let go of something that you feel like it still has value, or you still can get some type of use of it. But this is what I say to that. When you get when because it's not to say that when I do it now it feels good, but it feels good because of the ebbs and flows of life. I understand that something similar or something even better is going to enter my life because I allow space for that, right? And the only way that you will be able to maintain a certain amount of space in your life that will allow you to focus on your goals, um, allow you to be free, allow you to become, you have to have space. You have to create space, even if you don't have it right now. And the space I'm talking about is mental space. You have to create mental space. Sometimes don't go out for that coffee with your homegirls. You know, if that's something that you always do, unless it's a, excuse me, unless it's a maybe a special occasion, and sometimes you may not be able to make it. I always say this, and I kid you not, my I don't have a lot of friends, and that is something like physical friends, like you guys in my family, you already know. But in terms of like, I don't like I just never was the type of person. Although I knew a good amount of people, I just I'm a person that loves to be alone. Physically, like I like to just like I'll do the do and then I'm out. Like I can't. I just need to be able to be free up here. And I find retaining a certain amount of privacy is the only way, or I should say, is one of the best ways to creating space. Because if everybody know what time you wake up, what time you eat breakfast, what time you doing this, like people are clocking your schedule so they could get a hold of you. Are you kidding me? Like, yeah, there are certain people in our lives we have that type of relationship with, but even with that, we don't abuse it, right? But there are those who really can find themselves invading you, invading your quality of space. And this is what I always say about that. Like, and again, this is, I don't want you to feel like you have to be in a mean mindset to do what I'm suggesting for you to do. If you don't have to do these things, but if you want to focus on your goals, if you want to get better at whatever thing that you are working hard on, if you are in a crossroad in age where you feel like, okay, I'm in my 30s and I want to get a little more serious with certain things, you may want to take some of the things that I am saying to heart, if not all. And believe me, I know should, you know, live a rock star life, have fun. That youth, that particular type of youth is unmeasurable. But with that being said, the one of the key ways of keeping your agility is by always keeping some for yourself. You know, if you allow everything and everyone to get access to you, all of you, you're gonna find yourself dry, and that's not what you want. That's not what you want to be. That's not what you want to do. I believe it was Maya Angelou that said, she said to Oprah, always keep some of, like, to you. You know, always keep a part of you that is pure, that is untouched. Always keep that space. Always keep that light. You know what I mean? If you allow everybody and everything to get deep inside of you, how can how it's hard to hear outside of the noise. What you want to do is keep the noise out, right? I mean, sometimes we have to, you know, be apart, indulge, right? But at the same token, you know, it's okay to be stingy with yourself. It's okay, because who is zooming who? Who is going to give you what you want? And the thing about it is, it's not even like, oh, just, you know, I mean, everybody like to be given what they want, but you know what I'm saying? Within reason, regardless of what it is. Okay, no judge over here. What I'm saying is that, like, a lot of times the people and the things that is pulling your attention, um, from the life that you know that you are working so hard to live, are not doing nearly the same, right? And that is not a bad thing, but that is something that should be noted. Because if you fully understand that, hey, okay, I love X, Y, and Z, but what they're into is very far removed from where I'm going. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this, all the time. Maybe I should stop. Maybe I should stop. Maybe, just maybe, I should make it a point where I put me first. Dare I say? Dare I say, put me first? And a lot of times, because we think changing into, or becoming, or ascending into the next phase of our lives looks daunting, looks like a lot of work, 90% of the time it is, but we only allow ourselves to come from the perspective of lack and misunderstanding due to a lack of education. We allow those things to keep us from achieving our goals, you know. And I just want to come and record this particular segment because I truly believe that the world would be a better place if we would just allow ourselves to dream again. I mean, because all of this is a consistent dream state that we are in, that everybody's in, that has created, a universe within universes of itself. And I know that concept might sound foreign, maybe or maybe not, to your way of thinking, but if you really take time and you do a little reading and studying on your own, you'll realize how this this thought process is not that far-fetched from the truth. And once understanding that concept, you start to test and say, okay, well, if that what Elizabeth is suggesting is true, let me see what will happen in the next 6 months if I consistently did X, Y, and Z. Let me see what happened, or where I would find myself in the next year if consistently practicing X, Y, and Z. And what you will find is, due to the continuous compounding of things, learning, practicing activities as you learn, you'll see yourself gravitating, if not already being in the position that appeared to be so far-fetched at one time or another, you know. And it's not glamorous, you know. Doing the same thing every day is not, you know. I do the same thing every day. That's not, I love doing the same thing every day. Now, when I say the same thing every day, it may not look exactly like the same thing every day, but it's still the same thing every day. You know, I'm always doing something to create. I'm always writing. I start the day off with a black cup of coffee every single day, every single morning. Then I usually have a little tea. You know, I am consistent on giving my body, my spirit, because I like to drink a lot, you know, and I like to drink, I don't know how that sounds, I like to drink a lot. I like to drink liquids, teas, water. I don't actually drink anymore. I never was a big drinker, actually. Um, you know, my heydays, did a little bit of thing here and there, but I just don't like the recovery. It's like, and the older you get, the recovery time is ridiculous. Why am I more down than I'm up? No, thank you. So I have a little cocktail, a little wine here and there, depending. Not even cocktail, like maybe like wine. I think we are at a space where if I was gonna have some wine, what kind of wine would it be? It would be, oh my god, it's just, what kind of wine would I have? Nothing sweet. Nothing sweet. I can't remember the wine, and I do. There was a particular housewife. I actually got it from her, and she would have it all the time, and I can't remember. I can't remember the name of the wine. It was like a tart, like kind of like a. I like a dry kind of wine. I don't know why amaretto sour is coming to my tongue, and that was like, that's when I was younger. That was something like, if you had that, you was balling. But it definitely is not that. But Moscato is actually good too. Moscato is actually good too. So I haven't drank wine. I don't know. I think since what? Since New Year's, maybe. I didn't even drink wine on my birthday. I didn't even drink. I didn't even drink wine on my birthday. I um sustain from wine because, me personally, especially a woman um at a certain age, I don't feel like wine is really good for your hormones, especially when they are fluctuating depending on where you are in your change. You can experience hot flashes more often when you do certain things. Again, it depends. You know, when you're going through menopause, it doesn't show up the same way for everybody. So this is another reason why um, it's so hard to say deal, but it is hard because to this day, with all the technology that they have, the main thing that they would like to push on you is medication. You know, and if you had to go that way, that's something that's a personal choice that every woman has to decide for themselves. Um, Me personally, and again, I'm humbly grateful. Um, it was more holistically, but in saying that, it wasn't easy, and it definitely had its pains, definitely. Excuse me. But again, it depends on what you want in life. That you'll able yourself to go through certain pains, right? If you are not believing in the very thing that you are trying to achieve, one of the excuse me, one of the how can I say, one of the main points that you was, well, I should say, one of the key points of seeing whether whatever you want is something that you truly want, is the amount of time and the amount of effort and amount of pain, because that old phrase, um, it took blood, sweat, and tears. Right? And it really does. And it depends on whether or not you are willing to go through the pains in whatever you choose, right? So taking full responsibility for whatever we find ourselves in life is extremely important. It's so easy to point to this one. You did this to me. If it wasn't for you, and it wasn't for you, what about you? What about you? What about your choices? What about the things that you said yes to? What about the things that you didn't do when you could have been doing something else? Or the things that you was doing when you could have been doing something else? Being accountable for whatever it is and whatever isn't happening. And I know it's not the easiest thing. It's so easy to point the finger. And I'm not saying that exterior things has nothing to do with particular encounters you have. It definitely does. But even with that being said, take your power back. You know, control what you can control. Do what you can do. Whatever, um, whatever stage you find yourself in, because it's only until you are truly accountable will you start to see a shift in your life. You will not be able to see clearly if you're not able to lead yourself, if you're not able to govern yourself. To this day, to this day, to this day, whenever I go out, I'm always I'm always governing myself. And I don't know if that's an old term, but let me just give you a little breakdown of what I mean about governing yourself, just in case you don't know. Okay. I was a young mother, and when I was out with my son, I made it a point to govern what time we came in. Like, I didn't want to have my baby out all time of night because I want to have a good time. So I would get up early. I would get up early. I would attend things that were early. I would see people early. I would just do early things. I would do early fun things, as you do when you have young kids. Leave a comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. And over the course of time, I find that I still do that, and I don't even have any little kids. You know, I have been accustomed, I should say, I have grown accustomed to uh, starting my day at a certain time and starting my wind down of the day at a certain time. I, I go to bed early, honey. Like 9 o'clock, we in there. Now, I noticed a little pattern with myself. Like as of late, I've been wanting to watch like the other day. Well, actually, it was yesterday. I was watching the not Game of Thrones, House of Dragons. Guys, what's goody with the last episode? Now, I don't want to spoiler alert. I don't want to spoil it for anybody that didn't watch it yet. But I have questions. I have questions. I have questions. And again, I want to say I don't want to say I don't want to do that. I don't want to spoil it because it just was yesterday. If it was a week, I would have said something, but it was just yesterday. So if you didn't watch it yet, out of respect for you guys, I'm not going to say, but I do have questions. And leave a note, leave a note, leave a note, leave a comment down below if you watched it, and let me know if you have any questions, because I definitely have questions, but I guess that's the whole thing, right? So we can continue watching the show, right? Leave you on a cliffhanger, you know, and I remember when I was learning how to, how can I say, I, I was writing. I was taking this like little like not little but this writing, um, this like short story, and stuff like that. Like just being able to write down your thoughts. This is like years ago, and what it what I was learning basically to, because I always wrote with on my with my journal, but when you're writing, there is different there's different formats that you can use, right? And one of the things that you use is emotions when you write a lot, right? Even when you're writing in your journal, you might write, "Oh, I had a good day. I saw my best friend," or, "I had a day at work. OMG, blah 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 blah," right? Emotions. So it's very interesting when you start to learn the different formats, and why, you know a lot of marketers, they use certain things, certain words. Your ability to see movies expands, like in terms of like why and what, and why they chose, and like, for instance, Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible. As soon as one of those movies come, as soon as the movie come on, it's popping. He's running somewhere, something is happening. You're already at the edge of your seat as soon as that movie comes. What they do is play on your adrenaline, holding your attention, highs and low. Even when the story goes down, you are still at the edge of your seat, because you, at this point, you don't know what is going to come rushing you just don't know. And this is one of the reasons why I believe that movie is always sold out, because of the adrenaline capabilities that movie has to offer. Who doesn't want that, right? It's exciting. I don't really believe, I haven't, me personally, I'm a Tom Cruise fan. I love his body of work, since back in the day. I just feel like he always delivers. You know, he always delivers. There's a certain actors. especially like when I watch the old movies. You know one is a good actor when you can watch an old movie and still enjoy it as if you just watched it. So having that mindset with yourself and allowing yourself to be excited. You are the movie. You are the main character. Might as well have fun. You might as well make it work for you. Nobody else is. I remember when I used to go to work, I used to make that whole thing a stage. Okay, it was a big stage for me. I mean, yes, I was um, doing my job and I did it well, maybe too well, unfortunately. But that's a whole nother that's a whole nother situation. But I remember going to work, and honestly, I went through so many different phases at that particular job. Have, I mean, honestly, when I look back, I've always been like this. I get bored. Like, who wants to do the same thing over and over every single day? Who wants to live the same type of life every single day? Who wants to live the same have the same type of boring aspects every single day? Not me. Not me. And I don't think you either. But because you won't allow yourself to be free, you dare not touch other things that um, more than likely piques your interest. And I feel like a lot of us are, well, I used to be, no longer, but you know, there is a certain type of aroma. Let's just call it aroma. Excuse me. There is a certain type of aroma when it comes to certain religious institutions. And I'm not getting on them, but there is a particular move, a typical look, a typical, a typical, oh my God, oh my God, guys, tongue tied. There is a particular outlook, right? And although the main goal is to worship, but it also becomes this other thing, you know, who got the highest heel, who got the skinniest heel, who got the flyest this, who got the flyest that. For me, I always feel like spirit is first, and I feel like even with that, a lot of people. It's not to say that they're not worshiping and they're not coming for the common denominator, but it's also a place to show, how far you came. A lot of people may not want to agree to that, but it kind of is. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. The thing is, sometimes it could take over and become the main focus, but it's not a bad thing. I feel like if you got to stunt. If you got to show off, show off to yourself. You know, all that I'm going to make myself small so everybody can feel big around me is for the birds. You should never have to small yourself to make somebody else feel comfortable around you. And I'm going to repeat that. You should never have to small yourself to make somebody else feel comfortable around you. Absolutely not. Why would we want to do that? When we are divine, we're divinely made. We're divinely created. And the Bible says, I made you in my image. Okay, so a lot of people have issues with that. Like, oh, I'm not going to call myself a God because this, that, and the third, or I'm not going to, I don't see myself as a goddess because I still have to go to a physical job tomorrow. Well, that's good for you because I'm a goddess. Okay? Because if you do not see yourself in a certain type of light, in a certain type of way, then that means you are allowing, or you will allow other people to tell you who you are and what you should be like. Absolutely not, you know. And I understand, it can be hard to see things in the manner that I am discussing. I do understand that. It's not something that happens overnight. Some people are naturally able to channel what I'm suggesting. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, right? But even if you may be lacking in the air in an area, this is even a better um, time. It's a better time. It's the best time to work on that. Let me tell you something, guys. 2024 is. I don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh, the year is almost over. But honey, the year is almost. We are already in July. Before when we'll blink and it'll be like September. You know what I mean? So with all the technology that we have available for us today, AI, we need to level ourselves up, okay? Level up our perspectives, our point of view, okay? That will allow us to be open and free to retain, especially for the older generation, right? A lot of times, we can hold ourselves back because of fear, because we don't want to excuse me, we don't want to appear like we don't know something. We don't want to appear um, we don't want to dabble in new things because we feel like, oh, it wasn't like that when I was younger. You didn't need all of that. Leave that to them. That is a quick way to the yard. And I'm not talking about to the schoolyard. Okay. You should always be evolving. You should always be making it a point to change something, shake something up. You know, I get antsy when things is just like too still. Like, let's, you know what I mean? Let's have a little zhuzh. I feel like life is your biggest painting. You're not going to want to paint a flat surface. Who wants to just paint one color and not add any type of dimension? I'll give you a little homework assignment. You know me with the homework assignments. That's what we do now. We give homework assignments, guys. So please leave a comment down below and let me know that you did your homework. Next time I speak to you or go live, be sure to subscribe to this channel. No, but it's fun. It's a fun activity. A little messy, but fun. So I love to get my hands dirty. I don't know what it is. I'm a person that uh, I really get off on different textures. You know what I mean? I love feeling things. This is why, although I'm not a great baker, but I do love like to learn how to. I remember when the pandemic hit. Unfortunately, I learned how to make bread. I learned how to just make certain things that we would buy um, from the store from scratch. I learned how to make bread. I learned how to make soap, guys, detergent, okay, to wash your clothes. I'm one of those people, okay. I'm one of those things. I'm one of those people that I believe that like in case it's like, what do you have to offer? What can you do? See, that's another thing. What can you do? What do you have to offer? And it could be anything, any skill that you have acquired that can be of some type of value that you could actually slip a label to it and market it potentially. And the only way that you're going to be able to achieve that is if you create space, allow yourself the freedom, the room to have time to create. And the only way that you're going to be able to do what I'm suggesting once again is by being honest with yourself. You know, honesty is truly the best policy. So, going back to the homework assignment, you thought I forgot. This is what and guys, excuse me if I'm getting stuffy. I wasn't kidding with my allergy, now it's the nose. See, it was the eyes, now it's the nose. We excuse me, we are pushing past these things. And then, of course, it's my little Yorkie. But, I've been on here for a while, guys. I hope y'all enjoying this. Let me know in the comments, if you are in love and enjoying this long segment. This particular segment for the podcast, I definitely will do some light editing, but I'm going to pretty much put it up the way it's coming about. Number one, I would love for you to head on over to the live show. The replay will be up. The video will be live on the channel for future listens or views, as well as check out the podcast. If you would like to listen to it, is at Elizabeth Magical Garden. All the information will be down below, and also I will put the link, like I always do. I'll add the link down below, so you can go in the show notes, so you can watch the live, and even if it's after, just be part of the live views. You know what I mean? So definitely, this is something that I have incorporated into my YouTube channel. I felt like it was time to bring a little more spice, a little pizzazz. I feel like this channel is growing, the podcast is growing, and they are linked together. This is actually, the live show is actually a spin-off of the podcast. So that's for those who are wondering why I do go live on my YouTube channel now, on my podcast channel, that is. It's been a spinoff. I feel like the topics has been extremely juicy on this platform, so it was only right that I just went with my gut and started going live on that channel as well. So be sure to check that out. All information will be down below. Oh, guys, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? We have officially hit our 200th episode on the podcast. I am so excited. I am so happy. I mean, I'm not gonna, okay, I'm already stuffy. I don't want to get teary-eyed, but trust, it was literally a long time coming. So I'm definitely going to be doing something special on this particular platform. I decided it would be here, of course, and it definitely will be live. I'm not going to give y'all a pre-recorded video. I want to have all you guys be part of it, even if it's you guys stopping by and watching the live after the fact. I am just happy to be able to be in a position to share my 200th episode, and this spending this milestone. I can't even get it out because I'm getting emotional. Let me calm down. I can't express how wonderful it feels to have reached this plateau in my podcasting career. You know, it's still small, but it's big to me. So be sure to have your notifications on, so you'll be privy when all of these events will be taking place. So, guys, we're going to wrap this up a bit, but I just want to say, you know, to anyone that is in a place of transitioning, the easy thing I can say is don't be afraid, right? That's easy. Don't be afraid, right? But we all know fear's ugly, stupid head likes to come every step of the way, holding on for dear life. But that's okay. But that's okay because fear is needed as well. You know, fear will tell you, fear of lightning will tell you not to go stand under a tree in a lightning storm. Hello, right? Fear. Fear will tell you, you may want to walk across the street because there's a big rock waller without a leash. Thank you. I don't know why people don't put their dogs on leashes. I'm still trying to understand. I have questions. You know, I get it. You don't want to like, lock up your dog and stuff like that. But other people are walking. There's babies. There's little kids. There's little dogs. I can't even tell you the amount of times that I have picked in haste my little boo boo because of a big dog looking at my dog like it's a snack. You know what I mean? And put a leash on your dogs. That's all I gotta say. But guys, I also want to say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Understanding that, listen, this platform is me bringing my perspectives over to from my podcast also to my YouTube channel. I am working on appearing more on this platform. I really want to establish more of an engaging quality of the shows with you guys and just giving information to people that are in search of it because I am specifically talking to a specific audience. You have to want to think a certain type of way to even get some of the things that I am suggesting, and I'm okay with that. I understand that, you know, I might not be for everyone, but I am here for the right ones. And, and I can say this with confidence because of the people that I would have never thought was for me were for me. So, the love goes around. Guys, make sure to hit that bell, share this video because what? Sharing is caring. I had so much time discussing and coming before you on this platform. I really pray that each and every one of you find solace within self, realizing and understanding that your engagement with life has a lot to do with how you engage with yourself internally. Feed yourself, feed yourself the right type of foods, not only um, internally but also emotionally, mentally. Feed yourself in a position. Make it a point to put yourself first on your calendar. Make it a point to say no to the things that you know that is taking away more of your time than actually feeding back into you. Again, taking time off, doing the things that you love, maybe even watching TV, taking a step back, are all rewards from working a whole week, right? Doing other things in whatever you choose to do. But at the same token, understanding that you can be doing something else. The same energy that you're giving to somebody else, you can be bringing it forth and giving it back to you. And whatever you spend time listening and receiving whatever information you choose at that moment, make sure it's something that is fruitful. Make sure that it's something that will feed your soul. Make sure it is something that you can actually pass down to somebody else that may be in need as well. Because this life that we live is not just for us. We're living it harmoniously. My English, guys, all I got to say, and I'm not blaming, My mother was Haitian. She is Haitian, okay? And I'm American born. So when you are young and you ask your mom how to say certain things, there may be a little accent connected to it. So I'm always like going back and forth, and it does help that I am fluent in Creole, Sarkase, okay? And pretty much that's it, guys. Stay in peace.